So you are looking for a Necromancer build that is really strong and especially tanky. Without any allies, you can easily solo most content in the game because you're just so tanky and have even still a lot of damage. This Scourge build is for you. Credits to Lord Heisen for coming up with this build. So let's start with the gear. So for gear, you want to run full Trailblaizer gear with Trapper Rune, and if you can afford it, Expertise Infusions. It's just the most damage that you can get. Trailblaizer gives you a lot of toughness, a lot of vitality to increase your life pool, but also gives you a lot of condition damage and expertise. So you have full condition damage build. You don't deal any power damage. You want to run full Trailblaizer on your other gear as well, so trinkets and weapons. For Relic, you want to run Relic of the Midnight King. You have a lot of CCs, and all of those CCs will proc this Relic on an ICD of 1 second, and it will give you Might and Fury. Just really, really good. So for weapons, you want to run Scepter Torch and Pistol Dagger. Like I said, all of them Trailblaizer. And on the Sigil side, you want to run Torment Sigil on the Scepter. You don't have any baseline crit chance, but with the Fury that you have permanently, you will proc the Sigil of cooldown still, because Fury will give you 20% crit chance. Then Sigil of Strength is incredibly strong, because even with only with the Fury, you will get a lot of strength procs, and all of them give you some might, because otherwise you will lack might. On your pistol, you want to run also Torment Sigil, and on your dagger also strength, so it's the same setup for all of them. Regarding consumables, you want to run peppered cured meat flatbreads just for the incoming damage reduction that you get, and the increased condition damage and expertise. It's just by far the best option. For utility consumables, you want to run magnanimous tuning crystals just for the baseline crazy good condition damage increase. Because you have so high vitality and you have so high toughness, you get a lot of condition damage from this conversion. So now to the traits. You want to run Curses, Soul Reaping and Scourge. Curses gives you a lot of damage. You get passively chance to bleed on critical hit, and bleed duration is increased. Really good, because that's one of your most damaging conditions that you have. Then you get passively 8 seconds of Fury whenever you enter Shroud. As a Scourge, your Shroud is the Desert Shroud. So when you press this button, you will get Fury. 8 seconds. And you see it's only 17-second cooldown, and you can therefore have it half the time. In additional precision, just baseline, really good. Then you have more crit chance based on each condition, how many conditions are on the foe, and you get more condition damage based on your position. Just overall a really good damage increase. And disabling a foe inflicts torment on them. You have a lot of disables, all of them will inflict more damage, really good. Then the really good trait here, Parasitic Contagion. A percentage of your condition damage heals you. So you are full condi build, you can easily deal out 20k damage. So just by this trait, when you really get to 20k damage, you will get 1000 healing per second. That's actually quite a lot for not having any healing power. And then Lingering Curses is just increasing the base duration of your Scepter conditions. Really good, and the condition damage is increased, and you have access to Devouring Darkness, which now is really overloaded skill. You can see the description here. It is converting wounds on enemies. It deals a lot of condition damage. It also gives you a lot of life force. Just really strong skill. And in Soul Reaping, you get more life force. Your Shroud skills have recharge reduction, which are all of them. And maximum life force is increased. Just really good overall. Then Shroud skill 1 inflicts invulnerability. Your Shroud skill 1 is actually your Manifest Sandshade. Take advantage of that and always cast it on the enemy. And then entering or exiting Shroud increases all damage for duration, which means also condition damage, 10% more damage, baseline, really good. And then Shroud skill 1 inflicts burning on a target. Again, it's your Manifest Sandshade. It has a recharge time of 1 second, so not spam those 3. never spam them one after the other. Wait a little bit. And then you have more burning application. Really good trade line overall. Just increasing your damage because of the vulnerability as well. And then Scourge gives you access to your shades, but you will lose access to your shroud, which is okay because you have so much barrier access with your sand cascade. You have condi removal with your F2. You have a nice sphere with your F4. And like I said before, a lot of vulnerability and just damage with your F5 and your F1. The F5 also gives you a really high amount of barrier. And then you use Fell Beacon, which gives you more damage increase on burning, but also gives you expertise based on your condition damage, just really strong as well. And you get more concentration and expertise while you have a shade out. That's really important because you're selfish. You want to get as much stats as you can get, not only damage, but also concentration. So always try to have at least one shade up to make use out of that. And then just more burning applications from your Nefarious Favor. Really good because it's the shortest second cooldowns that you have, only 4 seconds, really good. And reduce all incoming damage. Where you have an active shade, you should always have one up. So 15% reduced incoming damage, really good. And then Torment, you inflict these increased damage and causes your foes to burn. So every time you do this, it inflicts another stack of burning and you deal more Torment damage. Just really, really good. You have so much damage just from this trait. Really strong. Now to the skills. I explained this one as already, it's really strong. Then your 4 skill here gives you some nice life force and a lot of damage. Your 5 skill gives you might and this is seed, therefore procs the Midnight Relic. Take that advantage of that. It's also try to cast it off cooldown because the might application is really strong as well. And of course spam your auto attack and your 2 skill just for the damage. Pistol, another CC, really strong for proccing the Midnight Relic. Another 1 and 2 are just for damage. The 5 skill is also for damage, but the 4 skill is really important because it transfers conditions from you, which is really important in conjunction with Blood's Power. Blood's Power gives you self-bleeding, which is a bad thing, but if you transfer it with this skill, you actually can apply it to the enemy as well, so you get even more damage from Blood's Power. Blood's Power is really important because it also gives you a lot of might. So always try to cast it whenever you have the Deadly Swarm up as well. And then your Sand Flare gives you barrier and some nice boon corrupt, but also heals you. Really good healing skill. Use it when you are pressured or you need to corrupt the boon. Then you have a stun break here with Spectral Armor, but also gain life force when you are hit, and you have 8 seconds of protection. So it's really good as well. If you have a shade out, it's even longer. So it's almost half the time just by using only Spectral Armor off cooldown. And then Signet of Undeath, you should never use it because it will cost you life, but most importantly, the passive is really important because it gives you passively life force, and life force might be a little bit hard to come by sometimes in this build, depending on how hard you spam your shade skills, but this helps a lot out with this. Just passively get life force. And then you have your Flash Golem. Your Flash Golem, you have to summon it, and when you summon it, you can use your charge skill, and this will deal a lot of CC breakdart damage, and this is really important to CC the boss. You can see in the background it's a really strong build. It deals a lot of damage and actually has a lot of tankiness and self-sustain as well. So I hope you enjoyed this quick guide. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Thanks a lot for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.